Hi, welcome to the Catholic Corner. I'm Monsignor Walter Nolan. Hope you kind of saw our program last week because we had a marvelous program with the CRS and a whole event of how we can help the poor, and now we're going to continue from last week to today. We had Sarah Robinson, who was the manager of community giving for Catholic Relief Services, and daughter of charity Sister Joanne Dress, executive director for our own diocese, the Diocese of Trenton Office of Catholic Social Services, about youth participation in the Helping Hands volunteer event at our Diocesan Eucharistic Congress. It's a Catholic Relief Services initiative aimed, as you probably saw and hoped, at permanently ending hunger and easing suffering, not just by providing the food, although that's very important, but by teaching and training the communities to provide food for themselves for the long term. Sarah and Sister Joanne are both here again with us today, along with a few members of the Pope John Paul II Regional School Community in Willingboro. Charlize Martin, hi sweetheart.
Hi.
Got a great smile.
Thank you.
And Charles Walker, thank you, son, for being with us today. It's really nice of you to give up your time from school to come today. They're both seventh graders at Pope John Paul II Regional School, and they're going to share what kind of an impact the Helping Hands volunteer event had on them and their school community and their own friends. With us also is Michelle Phillips, who will share her point of view as a parent of a seventh grader who participated in the Helping Hands volunteer event. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And thanks for having your daughter share so much of her gifts and
She
talents.
had a great time.
Oh, I bet, I bet. And Madeline Dranchek is the seventh grade teacher at Pope John Paul II Regional School. And Madeline will share the kind of changes she's seen in the school community as a result of participating in the project. And Sister Joanne, always so nice to have you with us. And Sarah, you're a gift.
Thank you.
You're a gift to CRS, but you're a gift to us to share your love and your talents. Sister Joanne and maybe Sarah, we can kind of flip back to you just to get us started for today. Tell us a little bit about that Helping Hands volunteer event that's designed for schools and other church groups, and how the event goes beyond just the packaging and shipping and how it all kind of fits together for us.
Sure. This is a new program at Catholic Relief Services. It's meant to engage Catholics of all ages in the fight against hunger. We do this by packaging specially formulated meals for the poor and the hungry overseas, for people who are starving. It's a three-stage process in the event where people go around tables, they all have assigned jobs. They fill these bags full of rice and soy and dehydrated vegetables and seal them up and send them on their way, and they go over to Burkina Faso in West Africa, a country that's in the midst of a severe crisis. They go to 26 centers that serve the elderly, the poor, the disabled, young girls, orphans, the sick. These are centers that don't have any other resources for the food. They desperately need this food. And along with the meals, this program provides the resources for Catholic Relief Services to work with the people in these centers to develop a livelihood, to provide for themselves in the future, hopefully to have the resources so they don't need this food in the future. They can acquire their own food locally. And over time, we hope to see them move out of these centers and become self-sufficient. So
Now, do they just come to the center, Sarah, or do they live there, or?
the people in these centers live there full time. For one reason or another, depending upon who they are, they have no other places to live, and CRS works with these partners to care for them and provide for their individual needs in these centers.
Oh, wow, thank you very, very much. And Sister, how about your own sharing of that wonderful event and how you brought it to the diocese?
I am still so excited about what happened there. I think it was a great experience from what I saw. The youth really got into it. They're so generous, really, and I think we gave them an opportunity to use that generosity. And I think the success of it was really due to the work that came before, as I think we'll probably hear from the teachers and the kids in the school. They had Burkina Faso weeks, and they explored, all the different aspects of that. So it was a good experience. It was a way to concretize faith. We come from the Eucharist and we bring it out to people we meet, and we try to help others. And this was one way to do it. So I'm most grateful to CRS for their facilitating this. They were easy to work with and really did a great job.
And I'm understanding that it's certainly not just for the youth, but
definitely.
and that it's not a one-time event. That this is the beginning of much to do with the Spirit guiding us and the love of folks like yourself.
I've had some inquiries from the parishes, and we hope to get them connected and see what they hope to do. It's for adults, and I think, Sarah, you mentioned that you've done it with senior centers and
Senior
and different
centers,
groups.
colleges, religious orders, any group from 40 people to thousands. And we can do shifts, we can do 3-day events. There really is no limitation. All we need are people who have a compassion for the poor, for people who want to do something concrete and tangible, and to feel connected, more importantly, to the people that they're actually making this food for. We help them build that connection. So
You know what's so delightful about all of this is as you're talking and we're all together, I like that. I almost feel like turning the clock back and saying, "Gee, I'm 20 years younger. I want to do this too." That's how exciting it all is.
Mm-hmm.
That's marvelous.
Maybe we'll have one for the priest, Monsignor.
Sure. We should.
Yeah.
We should. I could package.
the bishops will be packaging in November at their General Assembly.
And that-
All of the
and that's
bishops will be
terrific.
packaging.
It's just great. It's just great stuff. Madeline, how about what kind of effect can you tell us did the event have on your students and maybe students that you saw from other schools, and how is it different from other projects that maybe help fight hunger and different things?
I think that helping fight hunger is something that the children are always interested in, to donate and help. Even in Burlington County, where they know that these people are hungry and they live next door to me, but they've never seen, they had never heard, most of them, that many of my students are from Africa, their families are from Africa, but they never heard of Burkina Faso. So it was going online, which was great because then they learned about it, but to be able to package food and see what this little bit of food could do, that how many people it could feed, was just amazing to them. And that's what made them really interested, that they wanted to be able to, I helped pack that truck. I carried the food. I sealed it, And I had lots of students who couldn't get near those tables because there were so many students up there that they made posters. We had taken pictures, so they put my picture on here so we can send it, and they felt like they knew them. They didn't have to know them, but they would really love to be able to, I wish I could see them, and see how this food was helping them. And I think that the need was never this real before. I think that being able to see these little packages of food and what it did for these children was new to them. Because a box of potato flakes or a box of cereal is very different than a bag of rice and soy and vegetables. It's something that they don't have to worry about, food.
But I bet you they can imagine, and you're going to have to help me with this now. I'm thinking about when I was your age, and you're in school and you're playing, and all of a sudden school gets out and you run home and you're hungry. Because you've been in school all day, and maybe you get I don't know, help me, a little glass of milk or a cookie or something. Now tell me, some of the folks that you helped feed the children, how long would it might have been since they had something to eat?
In some cases, three days. They may have one meal every 3 days.
So you can see how much
Yes.
benefit there was,
Yes.
and wouldn't it be marvelous if you can make those connections? You can see pictures or cards or however you're going to be doing all of that. Now tell me something, Charlize and Charles, because you're the stars here today. Okay? All righty. What did you like most about the Helping Hands project?
I felt that I had a certain kind of special connection with that because my parents do come from West Africa, and last year I did get to go to West Africa, but I didn't get to go to Burkina Faso. I went to Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia. And not only did I go to Monrovia, because all around Africa, and especially Liberia, they are doing better than they were about 6 years ago when they were having their civil war. But like, they are a country in progress. But I do feel as if when I went to Basalt County and I saw the level of poverty and I saw how much need that there were, it brought me back to reality, and I knew how much I had and how much little they did.
Boy, oh boy.
And that really changed my aspect of life.
So it really, you hope you opened your eyes a little bit more, and you could almost feel, huh? You could almost feel how you were helping them. Charles, how about yourself now? How about, what were you feeling when you were doing all of that? And
Well, I like that I could feel that how much food to eat, cause I have a big plate of food waiting for me when I come home.
boy,
And
you
they
must have a
don't.
great mom.
Yeah, and they don't. So it really made me appreciate what I have, and be grateful.
So you can just thank God, when you're having that little bit of food and you come home from school and knowing that some others haven't, but you've helped them. So you know what you're doing, both of you? Your hands and your eyes and your hearts are like an extension of God's hands and God's eyes, and of course you're really bringing His love to children your age and other families. And can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 12 years old.
12 years old. And Charles?
I'm 12 too.
12 years old. You sure you're not going on 20 or something? Aren't they marvelous? Wow, yeah. God bless you both. I mean, thank you, Charles and Charlotte. That's wonderful stuff. Mom, tell me a little bit, how you as a mom, and your daughter was there also, right?
My daughter was there.
Speak about that for us.
My daughter was there, and it was an exciting experience to go to the first Eucharistic Congress.
You were there also? With that
I was there also.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I was one of the chaperones, along with
She
Mrs.
came to help
Dranchak.
out.
Thank God for chaperones.
Yes.
So I had a nice group of girls. They were very well behaved. They enjoyed themselves. They participated in the various events that we had. And I think that having events like this for children of that age, of the age of the children here, and my daughter, it gives them an opportunity to reach out and touch someone from another country. Charlize had a wonderful experience to be able to go to Liberia and experience that one-on-one. My daughter won't have that experience. She doesn't come from the same background. So for her, it's a little different experience. Since she wasn't able to see that with her eyes, she experienced it by the preparation that they did in the classroom and the research that they did with Mrs. Dranchak and her fellow classmates, and talking to her classmates such as Charlize and Charles for where they came from and their experiences, and then to actually go to the event and see what they were able to do to reach out to another child all the way across the world and still be able to help that child. I think our children are so privileged, and they have so much, so that when they don't have experiences similar to Charlize, they're used to, they're worried about the iPad, the iPhone, whatever the latest technology is. Do they have it? Do they not have it? They're not worrying about their next meal. So to be in an environment where they can see what they do and what they've contributed, and the food that they're able to send to another country and be a part of that, it connects them. It connects them to the people, it connects them to the need, and it moves them forward in the future as being our future of Catholics who are able to move forward and continue this type of work as we grow.
And possibly the little thought is planted in their hearts and their souls, so to speak,
hope
that
so.
when they go to college, they might want to study some of these things or become part of
Right.
CRS or
So
other
they could
things in the
continue
church.
the legacy of CRS.
Sure.
So it was a wonderful opportunity that was presented to the children, and it's a great time for them at that 7th grade age to have that connection and hopefully stay with them for the rest of their lives.
God gives us so many great things, and sometimes we don't use them as well as we should use them. But we talk about the iPads or the iPhones or whatever they are, and yet, it's not just texting and things with the kid across the street. all of a sudden it can put us in touch with brothers and sisters all over the world, which is a marvelous thing, sister.
Monsignor, I think that there was something that we didn't mention last week that should be known, that the children raised the money to purchase the food. The food was, what, 50 cents a meal?
50 cents, 25 cents goes to pay for the food and the packaging, and 25 cents goes to pay for all the programs that help the people have livelihoods.
The children, the youth, presented CRS with a check at the Congress for $17,238. And the food, the money is still coming in, so we think we might hit 20,000. And it was only from the youth. It was from the youth, and they purchased
How did you
food.
raise that money?
Well, we raise that money. We do a lot of things in our school called dress down days. So usually, like, we wear our uniform, but then we would get to dress down, which would be like we get to wear our normal clothes, like jeans. Of
They're not
course,
normal
we
clothes.
still-
Normal clothes.
like, and it was just you were given like $1, and like that would come up to, I don't know like how much dollars, because who doesn't want a dress down day when you get to wear a uniform like all these different days. And so I think that was just a little thing that profited us for a day and profited them for the future.
So everybody profited.
Yeah,
Isn't that terrific, huh?
so impressed,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So impressed with the generosity, really. It was from all the schools and from the religious ed and from the youth
from
groups.
all over the diocese.
Right.
So from little children to high school
Everybody,
children, or
yes.
however that all works. So that's like big brothers and little sisters, and all having we're all one family.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so terrific. But you know what I'm impressed with when you said that you purchased all that with the money, but you said that the food was 25 cents and the.
Right.
I'm impressed with that. You do
you
all
know,
of that for 50 cents?
If you think about what we eat, how much our meals here cost in the
Yeah.
U.S., and when Charles was talking about his plate of food, how much does that cost? But in this event, it's 50 cents for a meal, not only for the food, but that's going to teach someone how to sew, or how to make soap, or go to the local market and sell cloth, so that they don't need that meal in the future. So it's food for today and a future, all in one
And
50 cents.
Shipping also, ships everything over
including
there,
the
which is
shipping, right.
very expensive.
You know, Sarah, if you told that to my mother when I was a kid, I might have gotten one of those bags. So tell me, well, how did the school, what did you do before time to prepare them? That's exciting just to hear about that.
Well, in the beginning, Monsignor, we talked about
Sounds like something from the Bible, in the beginning.
in the beginning, this is what we did. And our principal at Pope John Paul decided that one grade would go. So she picked the 7th grade that we would go, so then we prepared. However, our whole school collected food, and our religious ed program. We collected all the food and packaged it, boxed it, so it would go with us to the Eucharistic Congress. So
That
by-
was for the diocesan programs,
that
right?
was,
Yeah.
yes, that was our diocesan, because our food went to Burlington County.
So
Catholic
that food would
Catholic
be
charities.
helping people here in this
Yes,
country, or in
and
this
so that
diocese.
was the first thing, where, we're going to start out by collecting food to do that. Then the next thing was the money, that we needed to raise some money so that this way we would be able to help pay for the food that we were going to send to Burkina Faso. Then the next thing was making cards. And I decided that I would take pictures of everybody, which was the big thing of the day. And in my class, I just took pictures of my students, and then we had pictures to put on the cards, on the posters that they made. And after all of this, then we went online and really learned about Burkina Faso, so that they could see pictures of students, of children that were there, because part of the information that is online states that 64% of the children are of school age, but most of them do not go to school. And that was very impressive to my students. They don't go? Like, what? You mean you don't have to go? Why do you?
How can you go there and live?
You know, like what? You don't go to school? And that was something they could not understand. They could not understand that you just would not go to school. Why would that? How could that be?
Sure.
And that was something that, you know, making the cards, and our principal gave me a paper with French sentences on it, and I know a little bit of French, so I knew, like, okay, this is what this says, and they were most interested in my prayers are with you, because they felt so terrible. You're hungry and you don't go to school. Like that, they were the two things that really, really impressed them. So, you know, it was just, and then it was time to go. Like all of a sudden it was October and it was time for the Congress.
Elise and Charles, can you tell me a little bit about the country there? Because I don't know a whole lot about it. Did you study it in school?
Yeah.
Let's say what you remember. Is there anything that you?
Well, they barely have food, and
So it's a very poor
Yeah.
children that are there.
yeah,
And from my understanding is that they don't go to school. So when they told me that they don't go to school, I guess I just wasn't like the rest of my kids. I was like, wait, they don't go to school? You know, we don't have to go? I want to move to Burkina Faso, so I have to go to school. And I was like, wait.
You'd go there and be the
wait.
principal of a school that you would start.
Wait, okay. This is what I understand. So they don't go to school because a lot of families need the child to do work inside the fields and stuff, and so that's how come they can't go to school.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's interesting to know that.
But
Now, did you two both help package the food? What did you do when you were there at the
Well-
Eucharistic Congress?
like I was a runner, so I was taking the empty bins, cause they'll fill up the rice packets and they'll put it in the bin, and I'll have to bring it to the packaging stations, and then put the empty bins back at the stations, and then the bins weren't empty, so that everybody was screaming for a runner when there were no empty bins. so it was hectic.
So you had a very important job.
Oh, yeah.
And I would think you had that job because you look strong. Is that because you probably had to pick up those things? And that's very, very good. Wow, thank you very much. And honey, did you help package something, or what did you do?
actually, I didn't get to package things, sadly. I really wanted to package stuff, but that's my artwork. I did the poster.
Well, you did the
I
posters.
helped the poster. It was me and my friend Samantha, and it was just us two. We were the only girls in our group. And the rest of them were all boys, but I think it was the first time because usually the way how lunchtime is set up, all the girls sit together and then there's two boys' tables, and we don't really hang out with the guys. So it was like one time where I saw all of the students in our class really connected and didn't argue. We just kind of talked like normal children, and we could all kind of agree on some level.
Because you had something nice to work with.
Yeah.
So you learned lots of different lessons
Yeah.
in doing that.
I learned that I can get along with some people.
What else did you learn from that project? Besides just knowing you could get along with each other in a different way.
There were some.
What surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most was that all these different schools came together, and it was just like so many people, and it was like so hectic. But I just thought about, you know what, it might be hectic, but this is going for a good cause because we are really helping people that really need it. Because we could be doing something else right now that we shouldn't be doing, but we could be helping somebody else out. And I was happy that so many schools did the right choice and made the right choice to help out people in Africa, in
that's
West
wonderful.
Africa, especially the country Burkina Faso.
Did something surprise you, Charles, when you were there?
Yeah, the amount of food that they get, like, cause I thought it was gonna be like bigger, like in like a pint, not a small little plastic bag.
How about your sister? Your sister was with you, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought maybe your sister was with you.
I know I thought that his two sisters' names are Charlotta and Charletti, and my name is Charlize.
I got you. Okay.
People make that mistake all the time.
Okay. What would be your hope for the people there? I mean, what would you like to say maybe a couple of years from now, like when you were going to high school and college? What would you like to meet some of the children that were there? And
That would be cool. That would be cool if I met them because I do have friends in Liberia. And the funny thing was I connected more with the kids that were a little bit more like on the middle class side in Liberia than I did with the kids that were like rich and I was supposed to fit in with, but I couldn't. I guess that's just because I'm more of a child that's just not like that, and it was just better for me, and I was able to understand it better, people like that, because back here in the States, I'm not rich. I'm grown up in a middle class family, and it just made it better for me.
you know, you children are just the best. I am so impressed with these children. Tell me a little bit, sister, and Sarah, if you don't mind, how you were pleased that this was all connected with the Eucharistic Congress, because that's important for us to understand too.
The bottom line for me is that I think we go to Eucharist, we receive the Lord, and then we go forth from there. And we're never just keeping the Lord to ourselves. We're sharing, we're trying to touch people's lives and share the Lord who we receive. And I think that anything that helps us to do that is really, really a gift. We are blessed in our society, and the Eucharistic Congress had so many different opportunities to inspire, to challenge, to give in many different ways. And I think that this is just one example, and it was a wonderful example for the youth in particular. And I hope it will continue, and I certainly intend to do everything I can to support and encourage.
Sarah, what are your hopes and dreams with, I mean, this is marvelous with the children and the work you're doing.
Well, I think we actually heard Charlize talk about connection. She was happy to connect with her peers as well. That's what these events do, but we would like to see the youth and anyone who is in one of these volunteer events to feel, like Charles said, feel connected to those that they're serving. They may be far away, oceans away, but the concrete nature of this kind of event and the spiritual experience it provides, we want that to continue. We want people to continue doing these events. We will continue to keep the volunteers connected with the people in Burkina. We want them to go to the website and follow those shipments.
And for more information on the project,
yes.
the folks can go to helpinghands.crs.org.
Exactly.
And
Right.
keep us in your prayers, and we will yourselves. And you know, the world is getting more, I think, more and more gifts from God. So pray with each other and for each other, and thank you. And kids, you're the best.
Yes.
Bless you very, very much. Thank you. And Sarah, thank you. And
Thank
sister,
you.
everyone, thank you.
Thanks.